In ancient Greek mythology, Prometheus stole fire from Mount Olympus and gave it to us mortals, granting humans a power previously reserved only for the gods. We'll step aside Prometheus because today, J. Craig Venter has stolen another power from the gods and given human beings the power to create life. Synthetic biology, the next frontier in organic science, has produced what has been identified as the man-made cell. Humanity now possesses the ability to invent and reinvent DNA using chemical processes to create what we determined is life. According to the science journal Nature on July 2nd, 2010, this discovery questions the very divide between living organism and machine, for original, organic matter may now be conceived and constructed in biological factories. The BBC of January 15, 2011 states that man-made cells should increase the rate of flu vaccine creation, clean the environment, and produce a brand new fuel, taking the science of genetics to the next level. To understand this process and how this rain of fire will affect all of us, let's begin with the spark of how the man-made cell was made. Second, smolder with the applications. And third, ignite some controversy. First, to gain a greater understanding of where life begins, let's talk about the birds and the bees. All right, just kidding. Let's begin with the DNA creation process, the perfect host, and its differentiations. First, Dr. Venter's team of scientists did the unthinkable. They designed a whole new organism using a computer and a few chemicals. In the report written in Science on May 20th, 2010, Venter's team describes the DNA creation process. To create the DNA, they used an oligonucleotide synthesizer, which can be found in your local Ace Hardware. The synthesizer takes the chemicals, let's call them the alphabet, and combines the chemicals together, similar to the way combining letters creates words. And words, put in a new and creative way, can create a brand new story. Or in our case, a brand new strand of DNA. The story of the synthetic cell, our story, starts at the very beginning with one of Earth's most simple life forms. Once Venter had the DNA, he had to find the paper on which to write the story. He searched for and found a medium that maintained its structure despite the removal of some of the original words, something that until Venter's research remained undiscovered. The fact that all living organisms have useless DNA was the key. In this case, Venter used yeast as the ideal vessel in which to carry the story of the man-made cell. The Scientific American of June 2010 explains that Venter's team extracted a group of chromosomes from the yeast cell and replaced it with his brand new strand of DNA. When DNA and yeast fused, what emerged was a whole new life form, the first synthetically created living organism. What you see here is the yeast cell after receiving the synthesized genome. The blue dye indicates that the transplant was complete and that the cell is indeed living. Discover of February 2010 explains that these cells generate different proteins and self-replicate, giving us a happy ending to our story and making Father Venter and Mommy Yeast very proud. With this discovery, we have the ability to design organisms exactly like we want. And it's this fact that leads us to our applications in three areas: energy, the environment, and our health. First, Dr. Venter wasn't trying to play Dr. Frankenstein. There was real scientific work at play. In collaboration with ExxonMobil, Venter is attempting to produce a brand new fuel, according to an interview with NPR on September 7, 2010. Now, the current process of extracting fuel from algae destroys the plant, which then needs to be reseeded, replanted, and reharvested. However, with the use of man-made cells, Venter can create an algae that will produce fuel in a pure form without destroying the actual organism. In essence, Venter has created renewable energy. Second, man-made cells can be used to clean the environment as well. Engineers can design these cells to clean up oil spills like the one we saw in the Gulf of Mexico. Professor Sama Sadurin, a dispersant expert from Columbia University, on August 28, 2010, explains that the use of biodispersants should stimulate the breakdown in the oil. Now, these dispersants will sit on the surface of the water, grabbing the sunlight as energy. As they stir around in the water, mixed by the waves, they will form buoyant clumps on the surface, allowing us to just scoop them off the top. But it's not only energy in the environment that gets researchers excited. It's the fact that man-made cells can be used to create flu vaccines as well. Now, the current process of creating a flu vaccine starts long before the flu season actually starts, and a batch can take up to 4 months to create, which means that unexpected strains such as H1N1 can cost us valuable time. In medicine, lost time means lost lives. Venter claims that his man-made cells will be able to produce a flu vaccine in just 12 hours. Venter is so confident in his product that he told the Presidential Commission for the Study of Bioethical Issues on July 7, 2010, that the vaccine you get next year will be from synthetic genomic technologies. Now, these applications may be the answer to all our problems, or just a pain in the arm. But whatever it is, it leads us to a few questions. Is it ethical? Is it safe? And is it life? First, science fiction has long frightened moviegoers with Frankenstein monsters unleashing dangerous and destructive technologies. Venter has been accused of being a bloodsucker for his achievement. However, President Barack Obama has come to the rescue, stating, as our nation invests in science and innovation and furthers our research in the biomedical field and healthcare, it's imperative that we do so in a responsible manner. The President has created the Presidential Commission for the Study of Bioethical Issues to implement a brand new set of standards for this important breakthrough. Second, the risk for weapons that can be used against us has always been a great fear. Anthrax is a recent example of a virus that was manipulated for biological warfare and has gotten many people asking the question, why we're even working in the field of synthetic biology. Sky News, May 21st, 2010, explains that the risk for designer pathogens is a very real possibility if the technology gets into the wrong hands. Finally, who is J. Craig Venter to play God? The scientist, July 2010, defines synthetic biology as the science of remaking the world. This man-made cell is indeed a living organism, and the first step towards improving our world by manipulating it. Venter argues that as long as we are aware of the risk of manipulating the living, we can organize the world around us in a safe way. We first explored Dr. Venter and the man-made cell. Second, discovered this feat in our common lives, and finally, probed the ethical issues behind this creation. Now, unlike Prometheus, Dr. Venter will fortunately not have to be chained to a rock to have his liver eaten out for all of eternity. But this discovery may have made just as much of a difference for all kinds of life as fire did all those years ago.